welcome. I hope you're ready for a little magic today. I'm so glad you're with me. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast desert. The sun is warm on your face. The wind carries whispers of ancient voices. Today, we walk together through time. We will visit the Middle East, a place where history was born. This is a story of people, empires, and dreams that changed the world. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin this journey. Long, long ago, before cities and countries, before kings and borders, the land between two great rivers was quiet. These rivers were called the Tigris and the Euphrates. The water flowed slowly through dry earth. It brought life. People came to live near the rivers. They learned to plant seeds. They learned to grow food. This was the beginning. This place became known as Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia means the land between rivers. It is often called the cradle of civilization. Why? Because here people built the first cities. They invented writing. They created laws. They looked at the stars and asked questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What comes next? These questions still live in us today. The people of Mesopotamia did not have machines. They did not have phones or books, but they had something powerful. They had curiosity. They had cooperation. They worked together. They built temples made of mud bricks. They dug canals to bring water to their fields. Life was hard. The sun was hot. The work was long. But slowly, something beautiful began to grow. Villages became towns. Towns became cities. And in these cities, something new was born. It was called civilization. But civilization is not just buildings. It is not just tools. Civilization is people learning to live together, to dream together, to create together. And this is where our story truly begins. Because once people learned to build cities, they wanted more. They wanted to trade. They wanted to explore. They wanted to protect what they had. And so, the first empires began to rise. The first great empire was called Sumer. The Sumerians were inventors. They created the wheel. They invented a form of writing called cuneiform. They wrote on clay tablets. These tablets told stories. They recorded trade. They kept history alive. After Sumer came Babylon. Babylon was a city of wonders. Its king, Hammurabi, created one of the first written laws. This law code was fair. It protected people. It said that everyone, rich or poor, must follow the same rules. This was a new idea. Before this, kings decided everything. Now, there were rules. There was order. Babylon also had hanging gardens, so beautiful that people called them one of the wonders of the ancient world. But empires do not last forever. Babylon fell. New powers rose. The Assyrians came next. They were strong warriors. They built a powerful army. They conquered many lands. Their empire stretched across the Middle East. But strength alone is not enough. The Assyrians were feared, but they were not loved. And when people are not loved, they rebel. After the Assyrians came the Persians. The Persian Empire was different. It was huge. It was powerful. but it was also tolerant. The Persian king, Cyrus the Great, allowed people to keep their cultures. He respected their religions. He built roads. He connected distant lands. Trade grew. Ideas spread. The Middle East became a bridge between East and West. It was a place where people met, shared, and learned. But empires always face challenges, and soon a new force appeared from the West. Alexander the Great came from Greece. He was young. He was brave. He dreamed of conquering the world, and he almost did. Alexander's army moved fast. They crossed rivers. They climbed mountains. They defeated the Persians. Alexander brought Greek culture to the Middle East. He built cities. He spread ideas. He created a blend of Greek and Eastern traditions. This blend was called Hellenistic culture. But Alexander died young. His empire broke apart. Still, his influence remained. Greek ideas mixed with local traditions. Philosophy, art, and science flourished. After Alexander, Rome grew strong in the West. Rome wanted control of the Middle East. Why? Because the Middle East was rich. It had trade routes. It had gold, spices, and silk. It connected Europe, Africa, and Asia. Whoever controlled the Middle East controlled the world's trade. Rome fought many wars. They conquered lands. They built roads and cities. They brought order. But they also brought taxes and soldiers. The people of the Middle East lived under Roman rule for centuries. Life was complicated. Some people prospered. Others suffered. But through it all, the Middle East remained a crossroads, a place where different worlds met, a place where religions were born. Christianity began here. Judaism had deep roots here, and soon a new faith would rise, a faith that would change the region forever. That faith was Islam. In the 7th century, in the city of Mecca, a man named Muhammad received a revelation. He became the prophet of Islam. His message was simple: believe in one God, treat others with kindness, live a good life. The message spread quickly. People believed. They followed. Within a few decades, Islam reached across Arabia into Syria, Egypt, Persia, and beyond. The Islamic caliphates became the new empires of the Middle East. They were not just military powers, they were centers of learning. Baghdad became the heart of the Islamic Golden Age. Scholars came from all over the world. They studied mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. They translated ancient Greek texts. They preserved knowledge that Europe had forgotten. They invented algebra. They improved medicine. They built hospitals and universities. This was a time of discovery, a time of progress. But it was also a time of conflict. The Middle East was still a crossroads. Crusaders came from Europe. They wanted control of Jerusalem. Wars were fought. Cities were destroyed. Lives were lost. Yet even in conflict, there was exchange. Ideas traveled. Technologies spread. The Middle East remained a bridge. But empires rise and fall. The Mongols came. They destroyed Baghdad. The Ottoman Empire grew. It ruled for centuries. It was powerful, but slowly it weakened. And then, in the 20th century, everything changed again. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire collapsed. European powers drew new borders. They created new countries: Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. These borders did not always match the cultures or histories of the people. This caused problems that still exist today. Oil was discovered. The Middle East became even more important. Nations fought for control. Revolutions happened. Wars began. Israel was created. Palestinians were displaced. The region became a place of tension. But it is also a place of hope. Today, the Middle East is home to millions of people. They live, work, dream, and love. They remember their history. They honor their ancestors. They look toward the future. The story of the Middle East is not finished. It is still being written by people like you and me, by those who choose to listen, to learn, to understand. History is not just about kings and wars. It is about people who built, who created, who believed in something better. And that story continues every single day. So what can we learn from this long, beautiful, complicated story? We learn that history is not simple. It is full of light and shadow. We learn that every place has many stories. We learn that people everywhere want the same things: safety, respect, a chance to build a better life. The Middle East has given the world so much: writing, laws, science, faith, art, and it continues to give. When you learn English, you are not just learning words. You are opening doors. Doors to other cultures. Doors to other times. Doors to understanding. Every story you listen to makes you stronger. Every new word you learn brings you closer to the world. And that is something powerful. I want to thank you for being here today, for listening, for staying curious. Learning a language takes time. It takes patience. But you are doing it, step by step, story by story. If you enjoyed this journey, I invite you to come back. There are more stories waiting for you. Stories of courage, discovery, love, and hope. Subscribe to Storyline English. Leave a comment and tell me what story you want to hear next. Let's keep learning together. Let's keep growing together. Because every time you listen, you are not just learning English. You are becoming part of a global community. A community of learners, dreamers, and explorers. Thank you for walking with me today. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in your journey.